Today I'm going to be talking about Thor, Love and Thunder. So I'm going to be reviewing this movie. This is going to be my first movie I review, but in the future I want to review movies and obviously other video games if you've seen some of my other videos. So this is going to be my first one. I really like Marvel movies, so I'm going to try really hard not to be biased. I try to be fair. There will be spoilers in this video, so beware if you care to watch this movie a week late. So I want to start off with the story. When I first saw the reviews of this movie, it had like a 69, a 65. I was all like, eesh, like this story might not be that good. But when I saw the movie, I was all like, bro, like that was a good movie. So I was really satisfied that the movie would actually turned out to be good. I don't like movie critics. I don't like Rotten Tomatoes. I don't like IMDb. If you want to go see a movie, even if the ratings or the critics are saying it's bad, go see the movie. You don't have to listen to reviews. I have a friend who, as soon as he sees the rating, if it's bad, he won't watch the movie. And it's like, okay, well, that's just your fault, but you're being kind of like a sheep. Just go watch the movie. If it's bad, then it's bad. Oh well, whatever. Anyways, the story was good. Throughout the movie, they show and they try to emphasize how like douchey the gods are. So like, in the beginning, it shows the bad guy's origin story. His name's Gore, the God Butcher. So his daughter's dying. He's in a desert and he's pleading, his God, like please save my daughter. But the daughter dies, and then he goes and meets his God, and the God says like he pretty much just it just pretty much shows like how much the god doesn't really care about his people. Gore tells him like, hey, all of your people died. What do we do now? And he's just like, I don't give a shit. So then the bad guy gets this sword and he kills the god. And then the sword corrupts him and makes him stronger. But now he like makes a vow to kill all the gods. And that's pretty much how it started. And later in the movie, Thor meets up with Zeus. And he turns out to be an asshole too. So I like the way they showed that. A lot of people kind of missed that. Like another franchise that kind of emphasizes how douchey the gods are like is like God of War, They're all like jerks, selfish. They don't care about anyone else. And I just like that about the movie. Natalie Portman did a pretty good job as Mighty Thor. I was a bit worried how she was going to get the hammer, because first it was, Thor, then Vision, then Hela, then Captain America. So like what, just anyone can pick it up? So I was a bit worried of how they're going to convince the audience how she's going to grab the hammer. But they did a pretty good job. So it pretty much kind of just happens. So she's pretty much trying to look for a cure for her cancer, and she feels that Mjolnir is calling to her. So she goes and looks for Mjolnir. She sees it, and then it's pretty much shown that she gets the power of Thor. At first when I saw that, I was like, oh no, like just like that, she's a good person, so she gets the hammer. But later on in the movie, they kind of explain a little bit more how she was able to grab it. So they show like a montage of Thor and Natalie Portman, Mighty Thor or Jane Foster, like kind of going through their relationship, like how happy they were and all that. And then Thor pretty much tells Mjolnir, always protect her at all costs. So he unknowingly, I'm assuming, puts a spell on the hammer, and that hammer now will go and protect Jane Foster, which therefore made her Mighty Thor. Which is kind of weird because later in the movie they kind of show that the hammer has actually been killing her because it's not letting her body fight the cancer. So technically the hammer's killing her, isn't it? Or am I missing something here? I don't know. That was weird, but she was pretty cool as Thor. I enjoyed it. As for the villain, Gore the God Butcher, he was pretty cool too. Christian Bale kills it like in every role he does. And he was convincing. It just seemed kind of a little rushed how he just wants to kill all the gods. I guess the god didn't listen to him. Or the god was an ass who he worshipped in his village. And he realized that god didn't really care about his village. So I guess after killing him, he just was like, well shit, my daughter's dead. I ain't got nothing better to do. Let's go kill some gods. But for the sake of the movie, they just like kind of try to tell you, like, oh, he's mad at the gods. He thinks they're useless. so he's gonna kill them. So for the sake of the movie, they just go with that reason. Now, a very controversial part was the comedy. A lot of people don't like these new Thor movies like Ragnarok because they're too jokey. In my opinion, I was kind of scared, like, oh, I hope it doesn't have like cheesy jokes, but most of those jokes landed and I laughed, and a lot of people laughed. So to me, I was all like, hey man, the jokes landed. I think the movie, I think it's a funny comedy too, Taika Waititi, he's a pretty good director. I thought, you guys have seen it probably in the commercials, but there's this scene where Thor, like, he becomes naked. I thought that was lame and cheesy and cringe. That joke was pretty dumb. Again, there's few jokes that are overplayed. Like, there's these two goats that keep screaming, and it was funny the first time, but like throughout the movie they keep screaming and it's overplayed. So I could see why it's like, to some people it's not funny. But again, most of the jokes did land. But I could definitely see where people are coming from, because if a movie is meant to be serious, fate of the universe, whatever world is at stake, and you're just making jokes about it, it kind of kills the seriousness of the movie. A lot of movies nowadays, most of the movies nowadays, do that mistake where they keep trying to make it jokey and funny, and the main character doesn't take it serious. And it's just like, this is supposed to be a serious moment and you're not taking it serious. Therefore, I'm not taking this movie serious. And yeah, you get my point. So I could definitely see the other side. I get it. I understand it. But to me, if a movie is trying to be funny and it is funny, like, I don't know. As long as I enjoy the movie, I guess is what I'm trying to say. To me, it's good. So I don't really care about that. The action was okay. When I went to go watch it a second time, one of my friends, he fell asleep twice. He fell asleep on two parts. I forgot the first part, but I remember the second part is where they're gonna go fight Gore in his dimension. It's like a shadow realm, whatever. And all I hear is my friend go. And then I look to my left, and this guy's like napping. And that was the second time. The first time he did it somewhere else, like I said, some other scene. But the second time, I'm like, bro, are you serious? And I looked to my other friend, and I go, like, what do I do about this guy? Like, do I wake him up? And then he woke up. And then my friend, like, he just tells me, like, hey, where's the action, bro? So, again, like, the action, it seemed a little bit light, this movie. But it had just, like, the right amount. But it was lacking some action. I guess it was lacking to the point that it knocked out some people. Not only that, my other friend on the right side, just to finish up this story, he said that someone behind him was asleep too. I don't know why people... Are you guys not getting enough sleep? How do you guys fall asleep on a big ass screen? Loud as hell. I don't know. I guess it's soothing. It has like an opposite effect. I guess the movie was really that boring. Shit, for some people. The ending did have me confused though, because the bad guy's daughter gets resurrected by this super god being named Eternity, and when she's walking and she gets revived, there's like a reflection and it shows her as Eternity, and then she shoots, like, in the end scene, Thor has to take care of the girl, by the way. So Thor is like now taking care of a little girl, and Gore's dead, and Thor's ex-girlfriend Jane Foster, who became Mighty Thor, is now dead. But the point is, he takes care of this daughter, or this girl, and she shoots like lasers at him because they get it like in a little argument. And I was just like, did she always have powers? Or in the reflection, it showed her has Eternity. So did she get Eternity's powers, or is Eternity in her? I was kind of confused about that. If someone could write on the comments what happened. But I got a little confused about that. Maybe I got to watch a video of what that ending meant. Other than that, I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. A lot of people are giving it a 6. A 5, and it's like, it's not a 6. I could understand people giving it a 7, a 7.5, but I give it an 8.5 because, again, like I said, if a movie is good, it's good. Like, yeah, like, there was jokey, again, I get it, but it got serious. It had some emotional moments. It had some serious moments, so it wasn't all jokey, whatever. And if you're gonna do that argument where, like, oh, it's not like in the comics, it's like, ugh, I don't want to listen to that. To me, as long as they follow, like, the basics of the comics, and if they want to do something different, that's totally fine. An example is like The Boys, how, like, they get the basics, they get the characters, they show them how they are in the show, like in the comic books, but it has like most of it is nothing kind of alike like the comic books, like the way the story goes, right? Like whoever watches The Boys, they kind of do that, and I like that they did that because if it was the exact same way as the comic book, it's like, oh well, I know this is gonna happen, and then I know this is gonna happen, and that'd be boring. So I like that they're moving like a different kind of way. So yeah, that's pretty much it. My review. The next review I'm gonna do is about Miss Marvel. Eesh. That one is, well, you have to wait for that one. Anyways, that's pretty much it, and I'll see you guys later.